Good evening and welcome to Front Page. Tonight, the balance of power in tech, compute, and the Indian economy shifts. Not in theory, in action. A legacy giant makes a play that could redefine the AI stack. A hyperscaler decides scale isn't enough, it wants control. And two southern states stop talking ambition and start executing it. The map is changing, the players are changing, and if you're not watching, you're already behind. If you're ready, here are the headlines. IBM just confirmed an $11 billion all-cash acquisition of Confluent at $31 per share, bringing the Apache Kafka-powered leader in real-time data streaming into its own hybrid cloud and watsonx AI stack to build a unified smart data platform for enterprise, generative, and agentic AI across public cloud, private cloud, and on-prem environments. Google is planning to manufacture over 5 million TPUs by 2027, turning its Ironwood and Trillium chips from internal infrastructure into a global AI utility sold directly to labs like Anthropic, driving down cost per token for large-scale inference, challenging NVIDIA's high-margin GPU monopoly, and accelerating a three-way hyperscaler silicon war where control over compute economics, not just FLOPs, decides who wins the AI infrastructure race. At the TN Rising Investor Meet in Madurai, Tamil Nadu signed 91 MOUs worth 36,660 crore rupees, promising 56,766 jobs as CM M.K. Stalin pitches a data-driven, high-execution model of balanced regional growth that aims to turn Madurai into a southern IT industrial hub and push the state toward its $1 trillion economy goal. And finally, at the Telangana Rising Global Summit 2025 in Bharat Future City, Hyderabad, the state unveiled its Telangana Rising 2047 vision, backed by formal economic trick modeling targeting a realistic $1.2 trillion state economy with per capita income up to $100,000 by 2047, powered by an 8 to 9 time jump in FDI, a services plus manufacturing push, and a $3 trillion political ambition aligned with India's Viksit Bharat 2047 roadmap. Good evening and welcome to Front Page by AIM Network, India's video-first AI and tech newsroom. Tonight, we are not talking about another chatbot update. We're actually talking about who controls the electricity grid of AI. NVIDIA sells the generators. Google now wants to build the entire grid and flood it with over 5 million TPUs by 2027. If that happens, the GPU shortage era ends and the real war begins. Who can sell compute cheapest at gigawatt scale? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe because this is the next chapter of a story we've been tracing for months on end. Analysts tracking Google's custom silicon say by 2027, Google will have more than 5 million TPUs deployed across Google Cloud, training clusters, inference farms, and customer workloads. This surge is already reshaping the industry. Anthropic has committed up to 1 million TPUs and more than 1 gigawatt of capacity for Claude. The new deal lets Anthropic buy TPU v7 chips directly, not just rent them, meaning Google is now a chip supplier, not just a cloud provider. Google is moving from TPUs for Google, TPUs as a global AI utility. Recent analysis shows a very stunning shift, which is Google's TPU v6e/v7 stack delivers 20 to 50% lower total cost per useful FLOP for large buyers, often matching NVIDIA's raw performance but beating them on economics. The pricing tells the story. TPU V6E, which is $2.7 per chip hour. NVIDIA B200 class, $5 to $6 per GPU hour. And once you measure tokens per second and real FLOP utilization, TPUs often offer significantly better performance per dollar at scale. No drama, no hype, just cheaper AI. This is why hyperscalers and labs are finally doing the math, and why NVIDIA has started sweating publicly. For years, Jensen Huang ignored competitors. But when reports emerged that Meta was exploring TPUs, NVIDIA did something very uncharacteristic. It issued a public defensive statement attacking TPUs as, well, inflexible ASICs. The translation? NVIDIA GPUs are cash. Spend them anywhere. Google's TPUs are gift cards, valuable but, well, specialized. It's a very clever argument, but the very fact that NVIDIA felt the need to make this particular argument proves something very fundamental, which is, for the first time in the generative AI era, NVIDIA sees a very real threat. What's driving that fear? Let's find out. Google's Ironwood pods scale smoothly to 9 to 16 TPUs on one fabric. Vertical integration makes TPUs 30 to 50% cheaper for Google to operate. Customers like Meta and Anthropic want a second supplier. And CUDA lock-in is finally cracking as more labs optimize for JAX and PyTorch XLA. Just when the industry looked like a two-horse race between Google and NVIDIA, AWS entered the battlefield at reInvent with Trainium 3 and the upcoming Trainium 4. Amazon delivered a message very loud and clear, and here is that message. We don't want the NVIDIA tax either. The key updates: Trainium 3, which is the 3 nanometer, is 2.5 pflops, FP8, big memory/bandwidth upgrades, 40% lower energy burn. Trainium 4, interoperability with NVIDIA GPUs via NVLink, fusion heavy inference, optimization, deep commitment to AI agents, and multimodal workloads. AWS is building a hybrid compute model, which is GPUs plus custom silicon at scale without dependence on a single vendor. The hyperscaler chip war has actually officially begun. Google's entire 5M TPU push sits on top of its newest chip, which is the TPU V7 Ironwood, a single chip which has this: 4614 FP8 Tflops, 192 GB HBM3E, which is 7.3 terabytes per second memory bandwidth. A single pod is 9,216 chips, 42.5 exaflops, FP8, 1.77 PB, HBM3E, 9.6 terabytes per second optical interconnect. This is Google's inference engine for the next decade, powering Gemini, YouTube, Search, Ads, Workspace, and now other people's models. The three reasons, which are of course all existential, and here they are. End dependence on NVIDIA. Google wants to train and serve all of its models, Gemini, Search, Ads, YouTube, without fighting for GPUs. 5M TPUs gives Google autonomy, predictable supply, and enough surplus to sell compute and chips to the rest of the industry. Analysts estimate that up to about 90% of AI spend will shift to inference over the next decade. In inference, the winner isn't the fastest chip. It's actually the cheapest reliable token at planetary scale. 5M TPUs lets Google slash inference pricing, push competitors into low margin territory, normalize TPUs as the economic baseline for AI compute, become a commodity. Margin collapse. The NVIDIA tax shrinks. Reverse NVIDIA's business model, and this is what you get. NVIDIA sells premium GPU servers with very high margins. Google's model is design chip to Broadcom packages it to TSMC fabs it to Google integrates racks plus networking, lower internal cost, ability to sell TPUs directly for customer data centers. So for the first time in a decade, labs can choose between NVIDIA's merchant GPU stack, Google's low-margin hyperscale TPU, utility making it a completely different economic world. TPUs require more compiler and kernel work than GPUs. CUDA remains the default ecosystem. Google must support TPUs outside its cloud. A new muscle enterprises will fear swapping one lock-in, which is CUDA, for another, which is Google. This is a long war of economics, supply chain, and developer mindshare. And now, as always, here is the front page take. Yesterday's battle was the fastest chip. Today's battle, cheapest compute. Tomorrow's battle, who controls the AI infrastructure layer? NVIDIA still sells the most coveted generators, but Google is racing to build the electric grid. And if it really ships 5 million plus TPUs by 2027, AI compute stops being a luxury and becomes a global utility, cheaper everywhere and fiercely competitive. So is this the beginning of the end for the NVIDIA tax or the start of a new AI silicon bubble? Please do let us know in the comments below. Good evening and welcome to Front Page by AIM Network, India's video-first AI and tech newsroom. And tonight, Tamil Nadu has fired yet another shot in India's state-level investment war. 91 MOUs, 36,660 crore rupees, 56,766 new jobs, all signed in a single day at the TN Rising Investor Meet in Madurai. And if you've been following our coverage from Thoothukudi to Hosur to Coimbatore, you already know what this really means. So before we actually break it down, please, you always do this, do it again and again. It helps us. Like, share, and subscribe. Takes a second for you, but obviously keeps independent journalism alive and kicking for us. So now, back to Tamil Nadu and the big breaking news. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin announced that the state has signed 91 MOUs totaling 36,660 crore rupees, creating nearly 57,000 jobs. This is part of the TN Rising initiative, a chain of regional investment summits designed to spread high-value projects beyond Chennai, Thoothukudi, Hosur, Coimbatore, and now Madurai. If Coimbatore secured 43,844 crore rupees in our previous episode, Madurai now joins the list as Tamil Nadu's next breakout industrial zone. But you know what? Here's what makes Tamil Nadu different from typical MOU festivals. CM Stalin revealed that over 80% of MOUs signed in past summits have already been implemented. Very impressive. This is crucial because in India's economic landscape, the real bottleneck is execution, not announcements. Tamil Nadu seems to have cracked that. Stalin said something very, very brutally honest. Just because a chief minister visits a country and asks for investments, no one will invest. End quote. Investors don't care about photo opportunities. Clearly, they look for stable policy, strong talent pipelines, law and order industrial, infrastructure, administrative capability, long-term political predictability, and Tamil Nadu scores unusually high in all of these parameters, which is why capital keeps flowing in. Now, here's the shift Tamil Nadu is starting to signal. Madurai cannot remain only a temple city or a cultural capital. It must also become an industrial and IT powerhouse. The city already has SIDCO, industrial estates, ELCOT, IT parks at Vadapalanji and Ilathakikulam. I hope I got the pronunciation right. If I didn't, I apologize. I'll try again. Can I try again? Yes, I'll do it again. Ilan Thaikulam. Got that right this time. A growing southern Tamil Nadu tech workforce. Stalin called it out very clearly. My goal is for Madurai to gain fame as an industrial city as well, end quote. This is the first time TN Rising has explicitly positioned Madurai as the next big southern IT plus industrial node. It actually would be nice for all of us to look at that map. Tamil Nadu, electronics, autos, aerospace, data centers. Karnataka, AI and startup capital. Telangana, GCCs, data centers, advanced infrastructure. Andhra Pradesh, electronics plus renewable energy plus AI corridors. So why these 91 MOUs matter? It's because of this. Beyond the 36,660 crore rupees number, here's what this actually signals. Tier 2 cities are becoming investment magnets. The TN Rising model is intentionally decentralizing industry. Cluster-based development is taking shape. So, what Coimbatore did for electronics plus aerospace, Madurai could do for IT plus industrial manufacturing. Tamil Nadu is avoiding the race to the bottom. No reckless incentives, no subsidy wars, just structured MOUs, follow-ups, and execution discipline. And as always, here is, yes, you guessed it, the front page take. Madurai's 36,660 crore rupees investment wave is not just a standalone story. You know why? It's because it's part of a larger southern India transformation where Coimbatore, Madurai, Hosur, and Thoothukudi are emerging as high-value industrial clusters, not just supporting acts to Chennai or Bengaluru. That's brilliant. If executed well, today's 91 MOUs could shift thousands of high-value jobs deeper into southern districts, build Tamil Nadu's next tech and industry corridor, accelerate the state's push toward a $1 trillion economy. So the message is quite clear, and it is coming loud and clear from Madurai. Tamil Nadu is clearly rewriting the map of India's industrial future. So what we would like for you to do is please tell us what do you think in the comments below to this question. Is Madurai the next big southern tech city, or is this just the beginning? Good evening and welcome to Front Page by AIM Network, India's video first AI and tech newsroom. Tonight at Bharat Future City, Telangana, the state is not just saying $3 trillion by 2047, but actually putting a math-backed blueprint on the table for how to actually get there. So on 8th and 9th of December at the Telangana Rising Global Summit 2025, the state rolled out its Telangana Rising 2047 vision document in front of nearly 2,000 delegates, 150 plus international visitors from 44 countries, and 27 themed sessions across 4 halls, all built around one question. Can Telangana really become a $1 trillion plus economy by 2047? And to make sure the world is watching, the summit ends with a Lionel Messi match in Hyderabad. Soft power literally built into an economic roadmap. So before we dive into the news, make sure to do what? Yes, score a goal like Messi does by hitting like, share and subscribe. The headlines sound simple, which is this. Governor Jishnu Dev Verma says Telangana will fulfill its mission of becoming a $3 trillion economy by 2047, end quote. The underlying vision, which is of the 2047 model, built using the World Bank's long-term growth framework based on Robert Solow pegs a realistic path to around $1.2 trillion of an economy, assuming growth gradually settles near around 6% as capital builds up and diminishing returns start kicking in. This is important. Why? Because most targets in Indian politics are just round numbers. Telangana is openly saying, and it's saying this: we didn't just multiply today's GDP by 20 years, we built a model, labor, capital, human capital, productivity, and then asked, what's actually possible? That alone puts this document in a very different league. So to hit these numbers, the state knows a few hard truths, which are these. FDI has to jump 8 to 9x from roughly $2 to $3 billion today to $15 to $20 billion annually. The economy must rebalance from 65% of services slash 18% of manufacturing and of course the rest, agriculture, towards a much deeper high value manufacturing and tech base. Per capita income, already the highest among large Indian states at around, well, $5,000, needs to climb almost 20 times to $100,000 by 2047. This, as we can always see and understand, is not, well, we'll do it somehow story. It's actually here are the inputs, here's the exam, here's how many hours we need to study every day. It's that kind of story. So quite encouraging to see who showed up at Bharat Future City. Let's take a look. A 100-acre greenfield site outside Hyderabad built as a living lab for this roadmap. So from the live updates and the official briefings, global investors have already pledged over 1.25 lakh crore rupees, led by Eric Sweder, Director, Trump Media and Technology Group, promising up to 1 lakh crore rupees over 10 years into Future City and related developments. Karan Adani, the MD of Adani Ports and SCZ, announced a 25,000 crore rupees commitment to Telangana, including a 48 megawatt green data center, new investments in UAV technology, roads and cement. Adding that, the Adani Group has already invested 10,000 crore rupees in the state over the last 3 years. Nobel laureates Abhijit Banerjee and Kailash Satyarthi and WEF MD Jeremy Jurgens dialed in to connect poverty reduction, frontier tech and Telangana's $3 trillion ambition. Sports icons Kapil Dev, Abhinav Bindra and Baichung Bhutia spoke about building a sporting state, linking soft power, youth and health to long-term growth. Karnataka Deputy CM D.K. Shivakumar literally said, and this is what he did, Hyderabad competes with Bengaluru to take on the world. We are not competitors, we support each other, end quote. While reminding everyone that South India already contributes 30% of India's GDP and could hit 40 to 50 or 40 to 45% by 2047. So now let's add to that the union ministers, global CEOs, GCC leaders, life sciences giants, creative industry stars, and 1,000 plus international delegates. And Telangana has done one thing very well. It has turned a state-level vision document into a South India plus global capital conversation. The Telangana Rising 2047 agenda is a grid of 27 sessions that map directly to the economic model, which is the $3 trillion economy and governance sessions on capital plus productivity, Bharat Future City as a growth magnet, and ease of doing business 2.0, including a big push for global capability centers, GCCs, and financial services, infrastructure and urban design connected. Telangana, transport, urban-rural links, Musi River rejuvenation, blue-green infrastructure for Hyderabad, aggressive use of triple Ps to pull private capital into housing, logistics, and city infrastructure, green transition, and tech powering. Telangana's future, here it is, renewable energy, green mobility, zero emission vehicles. Tech Telangana 2047, semiconductors, frontier tech, AI, and advanced electronics as core growth engines. Human capital and inclusion, Genome Valley and beyond, health tech, affordable healthcare, global education hub, talent mobility, gig economy policy, and women-led entrepreneurship at scale. My God, that is amazing as a roadmap. But it carries on. Agriculture and soft power. RARE strategy to turn farmers into producers, processors, brand owners, and exporters using organics and advanced agri-tech. Panels on India's creative century, entertainment, and Telangana's Olympic gold quest, tying culture, sport directly into economic branding. This is classic from silicon to soft power thinking. Chips, cities, climate, culture, all in one playbook. So there's also another subplot here. If you guys thought that this was it, not really, because here it is. Just recently, at TN Rising in Coimbatore and Madurai, where Tamil Nadu signed tens of thousands of crores in MOUs to push high-value manufacturing, data centers, and GCCs into Tier 2 cities, now Telangana is responding with Bharat Future City as its flagship hub, a vision for 2047 that's actually formally synced with Viksit Bharat 2047. A narrative that says this: we are not just another IT state, we are actually a future global growth node. And yet, on stage, you have DK Shivakumar saying Bengaluru and Hyderabad will walk together, and Andhra CM Chandrababu Naidu publicly wishing Telangana success. So the message with all of this as a narrative is quite clear. South India is in a competitive collaboration loop. States are racing each other, but the real opponent is the rest of the world, not the neighbor next door. And as for the reality check is concerned, here it is. Of course, to go from today to, well, 1.2 to $3 trillion by 2047, Telangana has to do all of this, actually deliver those 8 to 9 times higher FDI inflows, not just announce them. Scale FDI plus domestic capital without sliding into a race to the bottom incentive war. Turn Bharat Future City into a functioning, livable hub, not just a conference backdrop. Build an execution machine that can track every parameter in its solo style model: labor, capital, productivity, and adjust, very important, in real time, not 5 years too late. The good news, here it is. The state is openly talking about monitorable models. The hard part, models don't build airports, AI labs, or farmer brands. Guess what does? Execution. And with that, we come to an end to the front page take. So here is how we see it. Yesterday's politics was about slogans: $1 trillion by 2030, $5 trillion for India, with no math behind them. Today's Telangana is at least putting a spreadsheet and a summit behind its ambition, which is brilliant. A $1.2 trillion base case, a $3 trillion stretch target, and a 20-year to-do list. Tomorrow's judgment will be very simple. Did these early MOUs, GCCs, green data centers, education hubs, and farmer value chains actually show up on the ground, or did they stay in PDF format? So, if Telangana pulls this off, Bharat Future City won't just be a venue where Messi played a commemorative match, although I'm sure it's going to be quite brilliant. But it will be remembered as the place where one Indian state stopped guessing its future and started modeling it. So with that, it is time that we have to take a small little break on Front Page. We will be back with some very big news because I believe there has been a huge acquisition. Till then, think AI, think AIM.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Artificial intelligence. AI. Coexisting. AI.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Artificial intelligence. AI. Coexisting.
AI.
We are AIM Media House. Born in Nama, Bengaluru. Built for the world. We make tech make sense. We tell stories that matter. This is the era of AI, and we are the ones telling its story. Think AI, think AIM.
And I have seen this place grow from strength to strength. Speakers, the sessions, and the vibe around that.
Love the vibe. Love to see how big it has gotten over the years.
The largest AI conference in India.
Cypher has definitely attained a cult status.
Welcome back to Front Page. And yes, as promised, the big acquisition news. Everybody's been chasing GPUs. NVIDIA is selling shovels in the AI gold rush. Google is cranking out custom TPUs. And IBM? Well, IBM just walked into the casino with $11 billion, but instead of betting on chips, it's buying the data pipes. Confluent. Yes, with this, IBM controls the real-time streams that feed AI models in banks, retailers, food delivery apps. You pretty much name it. Tonight, on Front Page by IIM Network, we are breaking down what IBM is really buying, how this rewires the AI stack, and why Arvind Krishna is quietly building an open source empire while everyone else burns trillions on data centers. Here's the headline. It's official. IBM has acquired Confluent, the real-time data infrastructure company, for around $11 billion in cash. Confluent's current market cap is a little over $8 billion. So IBM is effectively paying a 30 to 40% premium to lock this in. The market's already reacting. Confluent stock spiked more than 20% in after-hours trading on the report. IBM dipped slightly. Classic acquirer reaction. So just a few minutes ago, IBM has officially confirmed to AIM Network and released a blog saying that it will acquire Confluent for $31 per share in cash, valuing the company at an enterprise value of $11 billion. Now you realize why we took that break? Clearly. So this is no longer a rumor, no longer talks. You are here. Why? Because this is the first time that you hear on front page. IBM and Confluent have signed a definitive agreement. The goal is simple: to build a smart data platform that powers enterprise generative and agentic AI across hybrid cloud, private cloud, and on-prem environments. So what does IBM get for $11 billion? Here it is. A Kafka-powered real-time streaming platform used by 40%, of the Fortune 500 connectors, governance, security, stream processing, and deployment models across public cloud, private cloud, and edge. But this fits a pattern we've seen from IBM for the last 5 years. Buy critical open source infrastructure, plug it into hybrid cloud, and sell it as the backbone for enterprise AI. So what exactly is IBM trying to buy? Let's take a slight peek into Confluent. Confluent was founded by the original creators of Apache Kafka, the open source system that moves data around inside modern companies. Clicks, payments, sensor data, fraud alerts, all streaming in real time. So think of Kafka as the bloodstream of a digital business. Every user click, every bank transaction, every delivery event flows as a continuous stream instead of static database rows. Confluent took Kafka and turned it into a full data in motion platform, managed cloud service, connectors into SaaS apps and databases, governance, security, and stream processing. So according to Confluent's own investor materials, more than 75% of the Fortune 500 use Kafka or Confluent for streaming data. So example, more than 6,500 customers, partners across AWS, GCP, Azure, Snowflake, Anthropic, MongoDB, and more. Now, plug that into AI. So if LLMs are the brain, real-time data streams are the nervous system. Fraud detection, dynamic pricing, personalized recommendations, supply chain optimization. None of that works at scale without low latency and reliable streaming pipes. That's what IBM is actually paying for. So let's now look at the AI stack. Compute, NVIDIA's GPU empire, Google's TPUs, custom accelerators everywhere. Data and control plane, Databricks, Snowflake, Kafka / Confluent, Informatica, and MongoDB. Apps and agents, OpenAI, Anthropic, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and internal enterprise agents on top. Everyone's fighting at different layers, as we can clearly see. So the question is, where is the real choke point? IBM's answer for the last few years has been pretty clear. We are an enterprise B2B company. Our job is to help clients deploy technology, hybrid cloud plus AI across multiple clouds, not chase consumer hype, in quote. And they've actually been buying accordingly. Red Hat, for example, for $34 billion in 2019, their giant bet on hybrid cloud and Kubernetes. Apptio for $4.6 billion in 2023, cost and FinOps, control for multi-cloud. HashiCorp for $6.4 billion in 2024. Infrastructure, automation, LAC, security. Add Confluent at about $11 billion and you get more than $50 billion spent on commercial open source infrastructure under CEO Arvind Krishna. Red Hat gave IBM the operating system for hybrid cloud. HashiCorp gave them the automation layer. Confluent would give them the real-time data pipes. That's a deliberate move to own the middle of the AI stack, the place where compute, data, and enterprise workflows all come to meet. Now connect this to IBM's AI story. Arvind Krishna has been very clear about where he thinks the value in AI actually sits. IBM is not trying to win the consumer chatbot war. It actually wants to be the trusted B2B platform that plugs AI into banks, telcos, insurers, and governments, where compliance, privacy, and reliability matter more than viral demonstrations. Confluent fits that play almost perfectly. watsonx needs real-time fuel AI agents that do claims processing, risk scoring, or trade surveillance. Can't run only on yesterday's batch data. What do they need? They need a streaming backbone. Events from Kafka topics, enriched and governed in milliseconds. Hybrid cloud, but for data Confluent already runs across public cloud, on-prem, and edge. That perfectly lines up with IBM's hybrid by default philosophy, especially for regulated industries that don't want all their data sitting on one United States hyperscaler. Agent orchestration, IBM keeps pitching watsonx as a way to build agents that can read, reason, and act across complex enterprise environments. So if this deal, which by now has closed, Confluent becomes the event mesh those agents subscribe to, which is data in motion becomes agents in motion. So while everyone else is obsessed with bigger models, IBM is very quietly asking a more, boring but a far more valuable question. How do we wire real companies so AI can actually do work? Confluent is one of the cleanest answers you can buy. So with this new deal, IBM's pitch is brutally simple. You bring the data, we bring the AI backbone that keeps it clean, connected, and real time. The timing is absolutely not random. Back in October, IBM reported slower growth in its core cloud software business, and analysts warned it needs stronger software performance to keep the growth story alive. So at the same time, Confluent has been exploring a sale and hired bankers after inbound interest. Salesforce just agreed to buy Informatica for about, $8 billion to strengthen its own AI data stack. This is the data infrastructure mergers and acquisition wave of the AI era. And IBM doesn't want to miss it. Clearly is not. Now, add Arvind Krishna's worldview from his Decoder interview. He says, we are not in an AI bubble. But he also did the math and warned that the current race to build 100 gigawatt of AI data centers, roughly about $8 trillion worth of capital expenditure, simply can't earn a reasonable return if everyone is just chasing AGI. So while others are spending trillions on GPUs and power, Krishna is doing something much more old school, IBM, which is buy high margin software, tie it to services, lock in decades of enterprise contracts. Red Hat was his first red hat on the shelf. That was, of course, his conviction bet. His words, not ours. Confluent pretty much now looks like the next conviction bet, just at the data layer instead of the operating system layer. The risks, what could actually break this? Every deal has a risk. These are three of the ones that we could think of. Regulatory approvals needs shareholder approval plus US and global regulatory clearance. Open source trust. Apache Kafka is open source. Confluent is its commercial layer. IBM now has a history of owning major open source companies, Red Hat, HashiCorp, and so far, it's mostly kept community trust. But Confluent's users may worry about pricing, neutrality, and IBM's ability to keep Confluent truly multi-cloud and independent feeling. Portfolio integration, Red Hat, HashiCorp, IBM Data Fabric, integration tools. So can IBM deliver one clean story? Step back and look at the AI power map. NVIDIA is betting the choke point is compute. Whoever controls the GPU and CUDA ecosystem dictates terms. Google is betting on vertically integrated AI infrastructure with its own TPUs plus Gemini stack. OpenAI and others are betting the choke point is the agent ecosystem, the app store for AI. IBM, with this Confluent move, is betting the choke point is enterprise data in motion. IBM is betting on something very different. The choke point is real-time enterprise data because switching AI models is very easy. Switching enterprise data streams is definitely not. So if IBM owns the event pipeline through which a company's entire business flows, IBM owns the most defensible part of the enterprise AI stack. Yes, because if all your critical business events from POS terminals to payment rails to factory sensors are streaming through an IBM-owned Confluent layer, switching your model provider becomes easy. Switching your data pipes becomes arduously painful. That's the quiet power grab right here. And now comes the time for you to grab the front page take. Here it is. IBM still won't have the fastest chips, but after buying Red Hat, HashiCorp, and now Confluent, it may end up owning something far more powerful, the backbone, yes, that actually makes enterprise AI work. So what we would like for you to do, please, is let us know what you think about this huge development in the comments below. And with that, it's time for us to say good night on Front Page. Yes, Front Page is coming to you only on AIM Network, which is India's definitive media organization and voice on everything AI and technology. And till we meet again, which is going to be tomorrow, it's time to say it together. Please say it with me. It is the new anthem. Think AI, think AIM.